That is a good cutscene. Take it away, mate.
I'll be the one playing today, and we're playing Sonic Colors Ultimate on the PS4. I would be playing this on, like, a PS5 if I had one, but, that's not really an option, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think the only real difference is, like, a minor, performance boost, but that's just fixing up the odd little tiny thing. But, so you're not really missing that much by playing it on PS4.
Alright, and I've made sure the soundtrack is on the Ultimate Music Mix, which I believe is the one we want to be using.
Okay, if you disable Boost Blur, that might help with your bitrate issues.
Alrighty.
Because, on the stream right now, given Spar's internet's on the slower side, it will look a bit blocky. Thankfully, because we have a recording going, if you watch this back on YouTube later down the line, it will look quite a lot cleaner.
Yeah, of course. Alright, I'm being told the Ultimate Mix has both OSTs, but this is basically the default. So this is what I expected when I set that poll up. We probably weren't clear about that, but yeah, I think this is what we're going with, so I'm ready to get going if you are.
Go for it, mate.
Alrighty. Unfortunately, I have to delete my save data, which is fine. This is a profile that I don't care about. So I don't care about losing my save. My main save is still intact on my other profile, so let's get going. Oops, sorry, we have a loading screen, because they didn't optimize this port at all.
Yes. But, go back to the charity for a moment. We have a new donation from Crazy12Eric for $10, who says, had to donate for my personal favourite Sonic game, the OG colours, that is, not so much Ultimate. But anyways, question for you, what's your favourite Wisp power-up?
Laser would be my favourite, actually.
I am inclined to agree, at least for the version of colours we're playing, because it's just, you zip ahead, it's cool. Although, actually, come to think of it, I did forget about Frenzy, and Frenzy is really fucking cool.
Frenzy is really cool. By the way, you will notice that I am already equipped with the Sonic movie aura, which is something they added in Ultimate as a few bits of customization, and I guess that carried over from the little bit of a practice run that I did last night, so we already actually have that equipped. Good on me.
Okay.
Whoops, I did not actually mean to jump right there. That I kept tapping a little too much.
As long as you can save it, it's fine.
Now, I have actually done a very small amount of speedrunning this game, but I'm probably not going to be doing most of the things involved in that. Partially because I'm not really good enough for it, and partially because a lot of the things that the speedrun does are not particularly interesting for a casual run.
Fair play. Okay, so I feel like we need to address the elephant in the living room here. Spar, how do you feel about the redone visuals in this remaster?
Honestly, they're fine in gameplay, because they're actually redone. We'll get to the cutscenes shortly, but man, they didn't do anything to the cutscenes. I'm personally okay with the visuals. I think it looks crisp. It runs at a pretty good 60 FPS, which is actually better than what the Wii did by a long shot. They even fixed a few of the points from the Wii version that would actually lag, which is definitely nice to see.
Yeah, I agree. It is nice to have a performance boost. I just kind of feel like, in terms of the general overall look of the game, because they've got more modern style lighting at play here, it means that a lot of the game looks a lot darker than it used to. And while I understand why they're doing that, as a HD game, they have more leeway, they have more colours they can use without, it losing detail on the screen and that. I just think it loses a lot of the charm that we had from the original one. I think the more simplistic colours worked for Sonic Colors. I know that sounds a little bit redundant.
Yeah, for sure. I'm noticing that... Whoops, I ran out of boost apparently. There's a bit of crackling in the Discord. I don't know if you can like change the bit rate down a little bit so that it's not using so much.
I can try that, yep. I remember how to do that.
Again, we are like recording all the co-commentators locally, so everything will be clean on YouTube. As always, apologies for bad internet on my end. There's literally nothing I can do about it.
One of their brother is gonna want to come here.
But yeah, as you see here with the cutscenes, this is just the Wii version.
Yeah, except for the subtitles, which are actually like sharpened really well and create just a really weird like juxtaposition between them. It doesn't look right to me.
No, it's a little bit jarring, and it's got the thing, like the modern game problem of the subtitles are a lot smaller than they probably should be.
Yeah, for sure. I think the font is also a bit too plain, I guess.
It's not so much that, it's just that it's very thin, like there's no width to the font, which hurts the readability.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I'm playing this through my OBS preview, so I'm looking directly at it on my computer monitor, so it's fine. If it was on a TV and I was sitting like, 10 or 15 feet back from it in a living room or whatever, that would be a bit tougher. Maybe not like impossible to read, but it would be a little bit tougher to look at.
Yeah, it does raise a few issues when what's supposed to be an accessibility feature introduces new accessibility issues that wouldn't be there otherwise.
Right, yeah. I appreciate that they ported this game, or remastered, or whatever you want to call it, and put it on, like, new consoles, Epic Game Store notwithstanding.
Hell yeah.
They kind of didn't really do a great job. I put this on my media thread immediately after I finished my first practice run of it a month or so ago, and I described it as it's Sonic Colors, but just a little bit worse.
Yeah.
It's just not quite as enjoyable as the original for several reasons. One of them, in fact, because I'm playing on my PS4, I'm actually using a PlayStation controller, of course. Which means I don't have notches for my control stick. So running in a straight line is actually very, very difficult.
Yeah, just in general, I'm not that big of a fan of using PlayStation controllers for games which use the analog stick as the primary control, because like you just got to stretch your thumb that little bit further.
Mm-hmm.
But like I got the PlayStation version myself because I didn't have like a modern Xbox at the time it came out, but it does the job.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Xbox would be that much better other than like placement of certain parts of the controller. There is an 8-bit device that basically plugs in and adds a Bluetooth to connect to different types of controllers, but I don't think there's any type of old Nintendo controller that would have the notches that I'm looking for the control stick, basically.
I think in general the Xbox controllers are pretty good for modern Sonic games. Like I'm going to be using my Xbox One controller for Generations coming up next. But yeah, it's nice to have flexibility when you can.
Yeah, for sure. This is like fine in terms of control. I just feel like it's a little bit weird after using a GameCube controller for as long as I have, and thank you Laser Wisp for not going in the right direction there.
Yeah. Well, you have to aim it far, you know that, right?
Well, no, because right there you can literally just fire it straight ahead, and Sonic is supposed to just go straight into the like laser crystals that will bounce you around. For whatever reason, sometimes when you come off of that. See, what is the thing I'm looking for here? Right here. This is what I want. Yeah, sometimes when you come off of that that thing back there, you end up disjointed, like at the wrong angle. So he actually ended up aiming down by accident.
Don't fall. There's nothing to land on.
Yeah, Goldmember, I agree. The Series X controller is a really solid controller. It's basically the Xbox One controller, but with a few extra like grooves just to make it sit in your hand better.
See if I can do this without falling off, because I fell off in my practice run last night.
No.
Alrighty, there we go, I made it. I'll be honest, like full disclosure, I am ridiculously tired right now because I did not sleep well at all. Fortunately, I've played Sonic Colors so many times that even with weird controls, I feel like I could play this game in my sleep, for the most part. So, hopefully I'll still be able to do all the neat stuff I want to show off, including some of the boss quick kills, and a few things like that. So one of the things that was added in Ultimate, as we see here, is the coins, the park tokens. They kind of replace extra lives in a few cases, on top of the Tails rescue thing replacing them entirely. The tokens basically unlock the customization options, which I mentioned earlier. Like, I've got the Sonic movie aura and boost on. There's so many options, actually. It's kind of insane how many there are.
Yeah, although, as Gogman said, some of the UI for the new features, it does just feel a bit tacked on. Like, especially when you get to like the Metal Sonic races and it's just that fucking pop-up. It looks like it's a fucking ad on a website or some shit, just letting you know that Metal Sonic's there.
Yeah, also, you need to get, what was it, like 30 out of 45 of the red rings, not red coins, red rings, in an area in order to unlock those. I think that was the right numbers.
Something like that. I honestly stopped thinking about it.
Yeah, so we're not going to actually be seeing any of the Metal Sonic races because fuck that. 15 out of 30. Thank you, Protector Memes. Yeah, even then, that's like way more than I'm probably going to end up getting in any area.
Yeah, this is just a direct run through the game.
Did you go somewhere?
Didn't you see?
If we end up reaching $3,000 raised and unlock the next incentive day, I'll be playing Sonic Colors DS, and we will be seeing the secret boss that you get from getting all 7 of the Chaos Emeralds there. So if you want to see that, feel free to go ahead and donate so we can hit that milestone.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's a good point, actually. We are currently at $2,602.69. Nice. So for each $1,000 threshold, we have unlocked new games that will be shown at the end of the marathon. So on the first incentive day, the 7th of July, we'll be showing off Sonic 3D Flicky's Island, a mobile game showcase, Sega Sonic, and the Minecraft crossover. And on Friday, the 8th of July, we'll be showing off a creepypasta block, Sonic Before and After the sequel, and Sonic Mega Mix. And our next incentive day, if we manage to break $3,000, which we're edging closer and closer to, we'll be showing off All Stars Racing Transformed 3DS. We'll be showing off Sonic Colors DS, as Bar mentioned, and we'll be showing off Generations 3DS. So if you want to see those games, then you can chip in and help get us that little bit closer and closer to the 3K threshold.
And here we have the new Wisp that was added in this version, or we did here a second ago, and we're about to see it again actually. The Jade Ghost Wisp, which is very unwieldy. I don't think I actually like it that much. This is the only time you're going to see it, because this is the only one of these Wisps that appears in my path, so hope you enjoyed it.
It's one of the few ones that doesn't just randomly kill you, because that can happen.
Yeah, I've heard about that too.
I had that happen a couple of times when I was experimenting with it. It's not great.
Oh, Jesus Christ, that was scary.
Oh, gotcha.
Some of these laser paths are like actually harder to hit because the control stick feels a bit unwieldy compared to how it was on the GameCube version there. Let's see, nice shot. Yes, that's how you do that one fast. first S rank of the run. It would be cool if the customizations were visible during cutscenes, but that would have required them to do something with the cutscenes.
Yeah.
And I think that's about the end of what we're going to say about that, instead of harping on it for the whole run. Overall, I think this port is fine. It's kind of lazy, I would say, especially since it was meant to be like the 30-year celebration of Sonic. It was part of that, so it seems especially egregious in that, like, on that note. But, like, it's still colors, it's still fun.
Yeah, the good parts of this are the parts that it's using from the original game, yeah. It very much shows that there was some kind of issues behind the scenes, because this... I don't know how this could happen, like, in a normal, healthy development cycle. We know that Sega are really not good at working with companies outside their in-house companies.
Yeah, for sure.
So, like, I'm inclined to give the developers benefit of the doubt here, given history.
And so I see people talking about the rankings for stages in the chat, since we did get an S rank back there. In Generations, your rank is based mostly on your time and whether or not you died at some point in the level. In this game, it's based, aside from the boss stages, almost entirely on the points you get. And so you get tons of points by using Wisps, grabbing the red rings, and stuff like that. So it's actually kind of hard to get S ranks in some stages. You have to take very specific routes and do very specific things in order to do that.
Did we hear about the mini partner direct tomorrow? Yeah, I'm not sure that that's necessarily what people want from Nintendo Direct right now, given they didn't really have much going on at the whole not E3 thing. But it's something, at least.
I mean, whatever. I always look at it as more news is good news when it comes to announcing stuff or showing trailers and things like that. It's not necessarily true, but, like, you're not always going to get what you want when it comes to game announcements, so, you know what? Just deal with it.
Yeah.
So, this whole block of games that we have going on today is the meta era. How do you feel about the meta era of games, Flame? The writing and characterization that goes on in these?
Well, in terms of the writing and the characterization, I liked what they did in colours as a one-off thing. Like, I think it's okay to have just a light-hearted entry in an otherwise, like, not necessarily dark series, but in a series that usually takes itself a little bit more serious. What I didn't want was 10 years of this.
Yeah, when I originally played Colors and for years afterward, I liked it just fine, but this is one of those games where the gameplay is always pretty good, but coming back to replay this game and having to sit through the cutscenes and the dialogue, it kind of grates on you after a while.
Yeah. Protector of Memes, Mike Pollock managed to avoid the 4Kids Plague just by re-auditioning.
Oh, alright.
He's talked about that before, in that apparently he just got a note from, like, one of his assistants that, like, one day and just said, hey, we've got this role for you of Dr. Eggman, and he's just thinking, like, I thought I was already doing that, but okay.
Twilight Hero says Sonic with a sword, were they high or just plain stupid? You might be reacting to the game we had on stream yesterday, because that was Black Knight.
Yep, and I will defend Sonic having a sword to my death.
I've seen a lot of gameplay of it, and it seems actually really cool. I don't think it's something I would play, but it is really cool, yeah.
I think it's worth a run through. It's a fun game. We talked about this a lot on the stream last night, but I think it's a fun game. It has a little bit of jank, but no worse really than most Sonic games.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Okay, ask away.
Who are you?
Okay, so we talked about our favorite Wisp earlier, and at that point I was probably asking about, like, the usefulness.
Okay.
Which one do you think is your favorite in terms of purely visual design?
Far away.
That is probably also Frenzy. It's just so fucking cool.
You know what? I can agree with that. I like Hover. Hover's just a little boy. He's just a little boy. He's kind of pudgy, and he floats. You know, he's cool.
Fair play.
Things called wisps.
Wisps?
I haven't actually seen what this game looks like on low settings on PC. I can't see it looking like the original one though, just because it's like a completely different lighting setup.
Yeah, the lighting is so different.
Eagle Man.
You kind of end up with just an entirely separate thing no matter what.
Can I just hear
I know basically nothing about the Wisps from future games, because I never played like Lost World or like any of the other stuff that they got thrown into. So my knowledge of Wisps comes from this and Colors DS.
That's fair. I will say that in Lost World, they're more a hindrance than anything. Like, they were improved when they patched in proper controls for them, but the Wisps were a big part of my problem with Lost World at launch, because there were certain Wisps, like the Eagle in particular, that mandated using the gamepad's motion controls, and it was fucking terrible. Like, they made it a little bit more manageable by patching in analog controls, but still, it's like you get to sections in the levels where the Wisps are mandatory, which doesn't happen that much in Colours, and it really sort of turned me off them in that game. They're okay in Forces, like you get some cool power-ups with the Wisps, but that kind of works its own way.
Yeah, I feel like more of Forces is based on the different gameplay styles they have going on. So the Wisps are not like the main thing for that game.
Yeah, they're just power-ups to the avatar, like depending on which weapon you have, like which weapon power they'll have.
I do like Sweet Mountain. I don't like this remix. I don't like most of the remixes in the Ultimate soundtrack, so thank you guys for donating for that.
I think, in general, the tracks themselves are fine, and I feel like if this wasn't for the game, I feel like if this were for an arrangement remix album or something, I would probably like them a lot more. The problem is that they don't really complement the game as well as the original soundtrack did. And like the most egregious example we'll see a bit later on, in my eyes, is Planet Wisp, because in the original version of the song, that had a slower build-up. Like, you start off with the piano, then you start getting like the funk bass coming in, and it just sort of adds layers and layers as you run through the level. Like, not dynamically, but it's just the song's written that way.
Yeah.
But with the remix, it just sort of kicks in from the start, and it doesn't really have that element to it.
Yeah, for sure. Here we have the Drill Wisp, which is this. That's pretty much it. Can also be used underwater, and if you're still like underground when the timer runs out, then you actually die, so that's fun.
Yep, that can happen. It's slightly more manageable here than it is in the DS one, to my recollection, because at least you have more screen space to see what's coming up.
Yeah, not a fan of Drill in the DS version for a lot of reasons, but we'll get to that if and when we unlock that game.
Yep.
I slid under that game, but alright, thank you. I think what might have happened was I was still on the higher platform where you can't slide under it anyway.
You might have... It looked like you were just about to drop down from it, and so like maybe it was just a little bit late.
Yep. I didn't get a chance to check my bank account, so I don't know how much money we actually have right now, so I'm not going to do my usual thing where for every death I have in a run, I'll donate so much. I'll probably donate a little bit more in the marathon anyway, but I don't think I'm going to do my usual thing that I do for like each death, because like I said, I don't know how much money we have, and I don't want to bankrupt us based on my own skill in a game.
That's entirely fair. Or you could do that and live on the edge, and you just have to not die.
I am pretty confident that I'm not going to die at any point during this game. Colors DS is going to be a different story, but in this one I'm pretty confident that I'm not going to, unless I just horribly screw something up, which is actually possible.
No, I mean, you just jinxed it.
Just going to destroy all the gingerbread men because they actually give you more points when you destroy all these little things over here. Not that I'm really going for any kind of score or rank or anything.
No, but they're right there, so you might as well.
Yeah, for sure. I think this is the right level. This one's actually very infamous for having one of the worst frame drops in the Wii version. At the end of this level if you use the drill wisp. And I don't know why it's as bad as it is, because it really shouldn't be. I might be thinking of a different one, but we'll see when I get to the end here. I need this. I think this is the right level, because if you go this way and grab that one, yep. So that path was basically like 5 FPS on the Wii version for whatever reason. Yeah, I like using the drill wisp at the end there because it's way faster. So it just gets you to the end a lot quicker. Get as much boost as we can, and then completely ignore all of the enemies.
Yeah, basically, this is one of the levels that I distinctly remember the other routes for.
Hey, Nat. Oh, there's usually a spike wisp there, but we haven't unlocked spike yet, so it's not there yet.
Yeah.
This is another area where the frame rate would dip, and probably is still going to dip. Yeah, just a little bit, because knocking all of these things around.
Yeah.
No, I don't think Precious has interrupted anything yet. I think she's probably bugging Mom, which means hopefully I won't be called away to try to rescue Mom from my cat at some point.
Oh, bless.
That does remind me, though. Let me just close my air vent real quick, because it's starting to get a little chilly in here.
How do we feel about the Eggman announcements? I think they're fantastic.
They are absolutely hilarious, especially the Sweet Mountain ones. Some of the funniest lines that I have ever heard in a game.
Why does the UI disappear when we hit automated sections? I think they're just trying to be fancy, and honestly, it kind of works.
I think what they're doing is during the automated sections in the in this version and the original, you could use the boost and it wouldn't make any difference. It doesn't increase your speed to do that.
Right.
And so what they've done is that they removed the UI to show the player that the boost isn't helping you here. Alright, I guess that's a path for the laser to take.
Oh, it works. As long as you're on flat ground at the end of it, it's fine.
There is a skip that is possible to do in this level that completely removes all of this waiting on platforms crap that's going on here. I have done it a few times back when I did some of the speedrunning for Sonic Colors, but it's kind of hard to do. I'm very out of practice, and I feel like it's even more jank on this version than it was on the original, so sadly we're not going to be seeing that. I would recommend, if anyone is interested, to check out some videos of Sonic Color speedruns, because they are really cool. Can't boost through that. That is actually a wall. Very solid.
So we go from talking about advanced speedrun tactics to some other advice.
Yeah. So what happened was that I was ready to just boost, and I turned to look at chat, and then I was just stuck on a wall. So that's what happened.
Fair.
Yeah, Nat and I watch a streamer/YouTuber named Critical Sid, spelled CYD. He does a bunch of different Sonic games. I believe he's actually at Games Done Quick right now to play one of those games. So, if you guys want more Sonic stuff to watch, I'm sure there will be maybe 2 or 3 Sonic games at Games Done Quick, because they don't like Sonic as much as us.
Okay.
Whenever we get done on stream, of course. Nice, I got the skip. I don't have to go down to hit those enemies down there to make the pulley spawn. I just bounced off them right away. One of the few things that I actually do know how to do in this game.
First time we get a cool trick is when I have to reply to a message, of course.
Oh, I mean, all it was just good timing of bouncing on something.
Fair.
And then I immediately balls it up by missing a jump. They sure do like putting the homing attack and double jump on the same button.
They sure do.
And I sure don't like that. That's actually another mechanic that they added in that we could bring up, the sweet spot homing attack. So if you homing attack at the right time, you get sort of a green reticle, and it actually gives Sonic a little bit of boost. So you can actually build up a little bit without the wisps. I think it's fine. I usually don't bother with it too much, though, so you'll just see me homing attack, pretty willy-nilly.
That's fair. It is satisfying when you do hit it, but I feel like the standard one isn't egregious enough that you feel bad if you don't, at least, so that I can appreciate.
Yeah, usually in order to hit it, you've got to, wait. Just a moment. I need these things to pop back up.
Yeah, I guess it is sort of like the perfect hits from Black Knight, in that you just time it right and you get that more satisfying, like the sound effect and that. It doesn't have, you know, like, it doesn't make as much of a gameplay difference as that does, though. Sonic finally found the sweet spot. God damn it, Nat. I'm just saying, Sonic knows what he likes.
Taking a lot of damage here because I hate this section when you don't have spikes.
Oh yeah. I mean, you could use the Jade Wisp into a pit instead if you like.
Yeah, I haven't used it on this level, so I don't know where to go with it. I'd rather just take the slow route.
It's kind of telling that in some of the areas that like you can get to with the Jade Wisp look like incomplete bits of level, and it's pretty much the stuff that would usually be off screen and you'd never go there. And it kind of makes the Wisp feel like something that's just been tacked on, because you can get to these sections that it feels like you're clipping out of bounds, except you're not, because they gave you the ability to do it intentionally.
Yeah, I can understand that.
They've fixed the bulk of the sound mixing issues. It's last time I checked, and I can't hear this on stream right now because of our setup, but last time I checked, it wasn't as clean as it should be. Like, it's not a proper stereo mix. It was just bouncing the channel to, like, the single channel over to both. But that's something we can talk about, just how dreadful of a state this game was when it first came out.
Yeah.
Because it was a fucking mess.
Mm-hmm.
The problem that you had is that the audio balancing would just rapidly switch between both sound channels. So if you were playing this game with headphones, it would just randomly flicker between, like, your left ear and your right ear, and there would be some sound effects that were just absurdly loud compared to everything else in the game, with no way to rebalance that. And over the course of, like, the first few months of being out, I think we got a patch that added in a sound effects slider, or at least made the one that was there actually work a bit better. And then they did the one that, like, combined both the channels just so it wasn't quite as obnoxiously loud.
Mm-hmm. Like, it was even worse than SA2. You would also have some sound effects that kind of just never worked.
You would have sound effects that didn't work, or you would have sound effects that were just coming on your left ear really loudly.
It was just kind of a pretty dire state for this game. One of the most egregious things for me was the actual credit sequence.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I need... Please, I need... That. I need that Wisp. Yeah, so for the credits, normally Sonic Colors credits is really long anyway, around 15 minutes or so, because it plays Reach for the Stars, or it plays Speak with Your Heart, then Reach for the Stars, and then the orchestral, like, theme, and I missed with the Drill Wisp anyway.
No.
Where am I? Jesus Christ. Can't see.
Yeah.
Alrighty. And in this game, because they included the original Sonic Colors credits, and then also the credits for the remaster, it ends up being about 30 minutes long. And in the original launch of the game, they did not continue playing music after those 3 songs ended. You just had, like, around 15 minutes of complete silence other than Sonic's footsteps on the little rainbow path thing that they do during the credits.
Yep, and on top of Sonic's footsteps, if you jumped and attacked the text like it prompts you to do, that's another one of those things where you get the sound effect very loudly in your left ear.
It's not even, you don't even have to jump, because there's so much of it on the screen. Sonic will actually break, like, a huge, like, part of all of that text just by not crouching, basically. If Sonic's standing up straight, you're going to break about 30% of it. Of the things that pop up on screen just by standing there. They didn't do a great job with the credits, I would say. They've patched it now so that it keeps, like, replaying music, so you end up with, like, 6 loops of Reach for the Stars over and over, and it just kind of got ridiculous the longer it kept going. And I think I eventually skipped the credits on my first run. You can skip them, yeah, but like, I like listening to the music until it's like 6 times in a row.
I think there's a trophy for letting it play in full.
That's stupid. Also pretty funny.
It's like you can achieve that by just putting your controller down.
Yeah, literally just have the credits running and go, like, I don't know, go to work or something. It might be done by the time you get back.
Emphasis on might.
Alrighty, that's 2 worlds done. Next we're going to be going to probably my favorite world in the game, Starlight Carnival, because it's just so damn pretty.
It's pretty, it's atmospheric, it's just a cool level.
It's got some really nice music too. Probably the only issue I have with this level is the gameplay, because in terms of actually playing the stages, I don't like them that much. There's definitely like worse ones in this game for me, but there's too much automation. I don't know why I pronounced it like that.
Yeah, like what we're gonna watch here, just, you know.
Literally not touching my controller.
Yep.
Yeah. This whole intro section is completely automated. You don't have to touch the controller at all. I mean, it's fine. You are being introduced to like the big, you know, appeal of this level, which is the visuals.
It's a spectacle the first time, but it means that it's just going to get annoying if you want to go back and replay this level later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot in the way of like flashing lights or anything, but if anyone does suffer from epilepsy, it's probably for the best if you don't watch this section, just because of, you know, Starlight Carnival being Starlight Carnival.
Yeah, there's a lot of bright colours on screen at once, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this level was beautiful when Racing transformed.
Yeah, definitely one of my favorites. Absolutely. I mentioned that during the Transformed stream the other day, whenever Tanner got on that stage. That Motobug was really trying to get me there. Trying to conserve boost as much as possible, because there's a fun thing that I can do after this section that I need as much boost as possible for. Motobugs are being a little bit annoying. I didn't get any of the big Motobugs either, which give you like tons of boost. You might be right about that, Protector Roof Memes. A lot of the 3D sections, quote-unquote 3D sections, in Starlight Carnival are auto-runner sections. There are a few that are, like, proper 3D, but there's not many of them. This isn't the area I was talking about that I needed boost, by the way. It's after this cube section.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just gonna jump right to the middle one of these things because it's the one you need to go on to get to up here. You don't actually have to go on all 3 of them.
Yeah, no, the other 2 are just there to waste your time a little bit.
Alright, let's see if we can make this. There we go. That's some Kino shit right there.
That's fun.
If you time that slide wrong, Sonic dies. I had to take a sip of my drink after that one because that was nice.
Fair enough.
I do. Sonic Colors has like 80% 2D platforming and just a little bit of 3D, and most of that 3D is basically just running in a straight line or whatever. So, like, I get a lot of the complaints about that. I find it fun anyway, which is weird because I usually don't like 2D games, and I think it's actually because the camera is pulled so far back in the 2D sections that I can actually see what's coming up ahead of me, unlike something like the classic games, where the camera is kind of close, and so you have to either react very quickly or just get hit by whatever's there.
Yeah, I can sort of get that, but at the same time, I do find the 2D platforming in this game to be incredibly blocky and incredibly stop and start, and so it just doesn't have the same sort of like speed appeal that the classics do for me.
Yeah, case in point, right here.
This shit.
Yep. Especially since this level is basically run forward a little bit, use cube. Run forward a little bit, use cube. And it just kind of continues like that for a while. Very happy that slamming down onto those bombs with the cube Wisp does not make them blow up right away, because that would be bad.
Oh, yeah.
Alrighty, that's another one done. How do you feel about the games restricting when and where you can use the drift or sidestep? That's fine. I mean, in places where I want to use the boost, I would rather use the boost than the drift or whatever, and the sidestep is really only useful on the places where it's limited to anyway.
Yeah, like I can see the argument of like it's taking control away from the player and that, but I feel like a lot of the sections where it intentionally limits that, you will probably end up just dying if you try to use it.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, also that intro to that act is always broken like that. They haven't fixed that yet. Also, that just happens. I got stuck under the thing. Huh. Well, that's not what I meant to do. Alright then. Oop, I thought that's where the platform was. Hey, that's a death.
I can do this all day.
Right, I need to double jump before doing that. Okay. And because I ran forward just enough, the thing started moving. Yep.
I've had that happen before, don't worry.
Yep. And now we wait.
There's a lot of that here.
Uh-huh. This is easily one of the worst acts in the game. Also, yeah, that happened. The speakers in the background aren't like thumping along with the music like they did in the original game.
Yeah, you're right.
That's a loss of a pretty cool like little detail that they had. Yeah, they don't have lives in this game. What they have are those little Tails things, where Tails will just kind of rescue you and put you back on the last main platform. So, and if you die without those, you basically go back to a checkpoint instead.
It's a weird system that's a little bit redundant.
Yeah, other than that, there is no actual game over like in the original. Yeah, the difference between the Tails things and, like, going back to a checkpoint is just where it drops you. Tails can, like, put you further ahead than where the checkpoint would have dropped you. And so it can save a little bit of time that way. There's also some really interesting things that speedrunners can do with Tails because of the angle at which he drops you, and so you can get out of bounds by abusing that. I don't know much about that, but I think you can actually get There's a technique they have called 3D and 2D. Sonic moves a lot faster when he's running in 3D, particularly like the sidestep sections. And so if you manage to keep that 3D speed in a 2D section by basically tricking the game into thinking that you haven't swapped, even though you have, Sonic will actually move a lot faster. And so that's a technique that speedrunners use a lot, and the Tails rescue thing is actually something that can be used to achieve that in some areas.
In fairness, in some areas that happens involuntarily. Tails will sometimes put you back, like not on the right frame. So you will just be able to walk forward and fall off.
I didn't stomp fast enough. Oh well. There's so much going on that level that you can't do because it requires, like, the Frenzy Wisp. It's kind of sad, actually. All of those, like, really short, like, 20-30 second levels can actually end up being, like, several minutes long because of all the hidden stuff that's, you know, on a lower path or a higher path or whatever, that's just locked away until you get some of the later Wisps. So there is actually a lot going on in those. For people that are calling those acts like filler acts, they probably kind of are in terms of like any percent or story mode or whatever, because you don't have all the stuff unlocked right away. But yeah, there's a lot going on that you can actually like search around and find. Yeah, I was doing that a little bit earlier, Protector of Memes, where you can air dash in auto intersections. The game gives you a bunch of boost here, so you actually can't do that in that particular section. Whoops, I did not boost there. So no upper path for me. Alright, that's interesting.
Yeah, that can happen.
I thought Sonic was gonna homing attack that thing, and then he just kind of didn't.
How time you go?
I can understand not liking Starlight Carnival. Most of my like opinion on it is based on visuals more than anything else.
Yeah, it's one of them levels that, you know, you soak in the spectacle of it, but admittedly there isn't that much substance beyond that.
I feel like the wall jump is a lot more fiddly in this version, and I'm not sure what's going on with that. If that's like a frame rate thing or whatever. Alright, hey Level, could you like work properly? I don't know about this one. So coming up here is actually one of the only full 3D areas in Starlight Carnival that I was mentioning. You do have full 3D movement here, but you're gonna be ignoring most of that just to use the hover anyway.
Pretty much, yeah.
There's a thing you can do, as you can see here, if you spam the... on my controller, it's the square button. On the original GameCube, it would have been the B button, the thing that activates the hover's light speed dash equivalent. It actually uses less of the gauge in order to keep active, and so you can keep the hover going for just a little bit longer. They actually made that a lot harder to do in this version. Again, probably something to do with the frame rate.
Maybe, yeah.
Not really sure what's going on there. I guess I won. Okay. I really thought I went over the back and missed it.
It did look like it, yeah.
Which I have done before. Alright, that was interesting. Yeah, because I like landed for a second and then it gave me the clear. So I really thought that I just kind of missed the goal ring. The boss remixes are probably the best parts of the new soundtrack, I would have to say. I think they're not bad. It's the stage remixes that I'm not particularly a fan of.
Yeah, because boss remixes, it works when it just sort of kicks in, like all guns blazing and that. It's just the levels that I feel I miss the subtlety from the original soundtrack.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's not what I wanted to do. See if we can get this one without taking damage. Yeah, there we go. Alrighty. Hey, how about we just use hover instead?
Might be easier.
How is that an S rank? Holy shit.
Just take it.
Yeah, probably because of all the points I got from using hover for so long, to be honest. How is this game post-patch? Basically what Protector of Memes said. It's functional. It still colors. Play the original or, on Dolphin with, turned up textures and stuff.
Yeah. Like, if you're looking strictly for an official version of the game to play, then this does the job for, like, the, Xbox and PS4 versions. Like, don't get this on Switch, because the Switch one, it just gets all of the problems from the remaster without the frame rate benefit.
Yeah, there's also some really, really bad problems with the Switch version. You have to do very specific things to cause them. But you can end up with like super glitch textures everywhere by doing those things, so really not recommended to even try that version.
Yeah, I think the more egregious stuff like the rapidly flashing lights and that's been patched, but yeah, it's just the worst way to play colors still.
Hey Cassidy, welcome to the stream. You've missed the most of 3 worlds. Basically, we're right here at the end of Starlight Carnival, so we're probably approaching the halfway point of the game. Not far off from that, actually.
Oh yeah, Frontiers is going to perform like shit on the Switch. Like, I wouldn't even bother with that.
Are they making a Switch version? I thought about that the other day. I'm like, can they even do that?
Yep, it's confirmed for Switch.
Okay, don't get it on Switch, probably. It's not going to end up good.
Yeah, unless they've got, like, a fucking miracle worker somehow making that port, I would not get the Switch version at all.
Get, like, Koei Tecmo, or whoever does the Warriors game on Switch, because those games... How do they get the Warriors games to run at a stable frame rate on Switch? It's actually kind of nuts.
Didn't the more recent Zelda one have some frame rate issues though? Age of Calamity?
Yeah, I guess that's true, but like, the Samurai Warriors stuff and I think Persona 5 Strikers are very stable 30, which is really impressive for the amount of, like, enemies on screen and stuff.
Like, the remaster of the first Hyrule Warriors, I think is mostly 60. Like, granted, that's a generation behind, but that in itself is impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Breath of the Wild works, I think, because that they were working on it for so long, it had the opportunity to be optimized the best they could. Like, it still has performance issues, but it could have been a lot worse for an open world game on Switch.
Yeah, the way the Breath of the Wild works is they limit a lot of stuff from being loaded in. And so that's how they can, like, save on frame rate. Laser Wisp, thank you. I didn't actually hit the right target that I wanted to, but I think it worked out okay anyway. Oh, this is not what I want to do. I don't want to go into this 2D section. That's okay, they gave me a Laser Wisp right away.
Oh, nice.
Alright, not quite done. I need to hit it just a little bit more. Oh, thank you. It gave me another Laser Wisp.
Well, life gives you lemons and all that.
Oh, it went invincible because I hit it 4 times.
What? Oh!
Yep, okay. Well, that's annoying, but whatever. Yeah, so at a certain point in the fight, or depending on which thing you target, you can only hit it a certain number of times before the boss will, like, back away and you can't hit it anymore. That's what happened. That's why my laser didn't do anything. It actually went completely invulnerable after I hit the little searchlight thing 4 times. So that's why the laser didn't do anything. Kind of sucks. Probably kept me from an S rank. Don't actually care that much.
Yeah.
So did you get any more info out of him?
Well, it wasn't easy, but yeah.
Well, we know Eggman is going to use the energy he's stealing for a mind control weapon.
Yeah, I don't know how prevalent it still is, but I know at launch this game was very notorious for crashing a lot. It was actually a thing that the game could crash during autosaves,
Yeah.
which of course corrupts all of the save data. So that's fun.
That's what I said.
Yeah, I just had a basic crash mid-level when I first played it, but nowhere near as like much of a problem as a lot of people were having.
Yeah, everything is auto-saving, so if I end up crashing here, then we should be fine. I should be able to just get right back into things. If we end up crashing on an autosave, then honestly we'll probably have to reschedule this, but praying that that doesn't happen.
5 generators? Well, I've already leveled 2.
Because I'll be honest, you're not the only one who's absolutely exhausted right now.
Yeah, for sure. You guys had a lot going on yesterday.
I'm with you, buddy.
We should get moving.
Yep, I had
Don't have much.
2 days in a row that were going on till like 3 in the morning, and then I was on all day yesterday, so yeah. This is my low energy sort of day.
Hmm. And I mean, like, you're doing a bunch of background stuff too with all the editing and stuff, so...
Well, I haven't actually had the chance to get the editing done since we put the Sonic 2 video up.
Yeah.
Kind of hoping to get a chance to get 3K done tonight, but it's looking like I may be on all day, so we're just playing it by ear for now.
Not yesterday. They weren't up to 3 a.m. I assume that's also British time anyway, but I think days 2 and 3 did go on very long.
Yeah, both SA2 and Team Sonic Racing were both like stupid fucking late.
SA2 I think was a little better because it's a lot easier to play than Team Sonic
It's a
Racing.
lot easier to talk about, I can say that much.
Yeah, I don't envy you guys for being on that long. If I had known that Team Sonic Racing would have been going on that long, I probably would have stayed on a bit longer before having you take over.
No, that's fine. It's just, it's a bigger problem of, like, because a lot of it is just retrying the same fucking races, and that game reuses the same tracks so many times. It's like, you know, you're just looking at the same thing over and over and over, and especially when you've got the characters just repeating the same lines. It's like, who needs their bacon saved? And it's like, I've heard this about 500 times already this afternoon. I
Yeah,
don't need it.
yeah.
Yeah, TSR exists, and that's the best summary of that game. I don't hate it, because when you just pick out a few tracks just to like play in the GPs and that, it's fun. But god, that story mode was a bad idea.
It is a competent game with a bad story mode.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be honest, the gameplay, aside from the team mechanics, just watching it, the gameplay really just kind of seemed pretty similar to Transformed. aside from changing out a few of the items for Wisps. Like that was really about it. The team mechanic and the story mode requirements just seem to really mess with everything.
The team mechanic is the front and center selling point, and it's also the absolute worst thing about the story mode. Because like the story mode would have been fine if you could just play each of the races as individual races. Because I would say 9 times out of 10 when Tom was having trouble in the run, it wasn't him fucking up, it was the AI fucking up on his team. And like that's just bad game design. I can't defend that. That is just, you know, like if you're doing nothing wrong but your teammates are who you have no control over, that's the game.
Yep. Shout out to me getting that rail section back there that I have not practiced at all since my first run of this, first run of Ultimate a while back.
Yeah, that opening section is like you either get it first try by sheer luck or, you know, you completely fuck it up. And when I was trying to record this last, yeah.
Planet Wisp 1 is a good track. This remix, it's that problem that you were saying earlier of all the stuff comes in too quickly. It doesn't have that really nice, calm intro that the original version has.
Yeah, I feel with this kind of arrangement, it's like a less is more kind of thing. You know, you ease you into it, and then, like, as each new track comes in, like each new instrumental track comes in, it just adds that little bit more life to the song, rather than just giving you everything at once and killing the mood. But again, like I say, as a piece of music in its own right, it's fine. It's like, if this were just on an album, I would be perfectly okay with it. It's just, you know, in the game, you lose a lot by switching it out.
Yeah, for sure.
That's fine, Cassidy, we appreciate it. The VODs will be up when they're ready, basically. Like I say, I'm hoping to get 3K done soon, but, you know. We are also alternating the uploads of that and the Let's Plays that have been recorded so far, so there'll be a little bit of variety on the channel at least, not just like a month straight of Sonic.
Yeah, for sure. It's not like we don't do enough Sonic anyway.
Oh yeah. Like, that was one thing that I noticed, but like during the month or so when Tom was away and we were handling the channel ourselves, and I was brainstorming games that we could play, and every time a game would come to my mind of like I could stream this and we could put it on the channel, it's like, oh wait, that's Sonic.
Yeah. Because I mean, like, I could have played Colors, but we're already doing this.
Yeah. And like, I don't know about you, but I think maybe a 7th Colours LP might be a bit overkill.
Are we already on 7? I figured we got to 10 by now.
Probably. Like, Generations is probably gonna be double figures after this run, but, you know.
I am sure that you guys can't see a goddamn thing that's happening on screen with the bitrate whenever the camera goes out like that.
I can sort of make it out.
I feel like if you know, like, you've played the game enough times, you can pretty much piece it together just by how the camera's moving. More than anything else.
I mean, I'm not looking at the screen, I just remember the game.
Yeah. It's like Tanner's saying that he didn't really need to be watching that much for SA1 because he could kind of play it in his head.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think this was the one of the remix songs that was bonus edition exclusive for some reason. Why they fucking did that is beyond me, but it was.
Weird.
Yeah, like, it did have that thing going on if they were doing the pre-order incentives and the deluxe edition incentives that they've been doing that I'm really not a fan of. But, yeah, no, like, I suppose it's less egregious than some of the examples I've seen, but I'm still not too keen on it happening.
Yeah, I think this is the It's definitely the digital version. I don't know if this is the digital deluxe edition. I don't remember which one I got. I got it on the PlayStation sale about a month or two ago, just so that I could have it. And just because the load times are already bad enough, we might as well make them a little bit better with the digital version.
Yeah.
If I was going to buy this physical, I actually had the opportunity of getting it from Amazon, because they had, it was actually the, let's see, it was like the pre-order version that came with the little baby Sonic doll.
Oh, right, yeah.
So I could have gotten that, and it actually cost less than the regular version for some strange reason.
Yeah, that's the thing I've noticed a lot, quite often, despite the fact that, you know, they don't have to manufacture a disc for a digital game, you know, they still end up more expensive digitally a lot of the time, which, you know, I tend to buy physical games as and when I can, when it's practical to, because I just like having a collection, but it feels like they're missing an opportunity to sell people on digital stuff by not just taking a few quid off the top of the price, you know?
I jumped a little too far there.
Yeah, Cassidy's right. A little while ago we did a playthrough of Journey on the channel, a stream playthrough. That's up on the YouTube channel if you want to check that out at some point. We also did a run of Abzu straight after that. I think those ended up being pretty good runs, although I will admit the Abzu run that's on the YouTube channel is less of a live playthrough and more of a live and dangerous playthrough, if you catch my drift. I did have to polish that up quite a lot.
Yeah, speaking of polishing, God, I am really bad at this level, apparently.
Spar, Tom asks if you'd be able to co-com on Forces, because Tanner's got to be unavailable.
I can see how I feel. I really did want to take a nap, but I'll definitely see how I feel whenever we get to that point and let him know.
Okay, what we could do, given I'm kind of in the same boat, we could sort of split it between us, like you do the first half and I'll do the second half.
Yeah, I think that would be okay.
Yeah, that'll work out for me. So, just because Tanner's got some family stuff comes up that he wants to deal with, so like, if we can take some strain off of him for that.
Yeah, for sure.
And while I'm doing a little bit of housekeeping, I feel I should remind everyone we are raising money for the charity Child's Play. What Child's Play do is they provide toys and games to children who are in the hospital. If you'd like to contribute to the cause, you can click the donate button below the stream, or you can use this little donate prompt in the chat. You can click through and all the money on that goes through that Tiltify widget will go straight to the charity. We also have a raffle going on right now for a copy of Sonic Origins. If you'd like to be entered for that, it's $5 per entry. Just let us know in your donation comment and we'll be able to add you onto the list for that. So yeah, we are very appreciative of all the donations that you guys have contributed so far. We are currently at $2,615.69, nice. And we're edging closer and closer towards the $3,000 threshold that will unlock the next batch of incentive games, which would be Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transform 3DS, Sonic Colors DS, and Sonic Generations 3DS.
Please don't pay attention to the fact that I died back there.
I saw, don't worry.
Yeah, that laser wisp is really dangerous to go for if you don't want to wait for it.
You know, as alien as this place is, there's something very Eggman-ish about it.
I think he's transforming it somehow, making it part of his theme park.
Attention guests, if you can hear this message, you are trespassing in an area still under renovation. If you are not...
I really like that you can just kind of see a lot of the assets that are in the actual levels in this cutscene. I wish there was more of that.
The theme of his park is
And I wish in this version it was consistent with how it looked in game.
Yeah, I mean that too.
It would be nice.
Like some kind of living intergalactic gas.
That's pretty low, even for a sleazeball like Eggman.
There's only like, I'm pretty sure it's only Tropical Resort, this area, and Asteroid Coaster that get like mid-world cutscenes like this. Sweet Mountain, Starlight Carnival, and Aquarium Park don't get these cutscenes that happen like partway through.
Oh no, wait, scratch that.
Don't some of these cutscenes take place in different areas depending which order you do the levels?
This one I'm pretty sure is always Planet Wisp.
Somebody do that.
This one is, but I think some of them move.
Yeah, the end, like when you get to the bosses, some of those can be different, or at least have different backgrounds depending on which world you choose and like which order. Like the one where Tails gets like mind controlled back there a few minutes ago, that can happen in Sweet Mountain instead if you do Starlight Carnival first. Trying to remember the order that these levels come in. Is this the one with the funny start? Or is that Act 6? Nope, that's Act 6.
Okay.
Yeah. So keep an eye out at the beginning of the next level because for whatever reason they changed it a bit in Ultimate. And it becomes funnier actually for no good reason.
Alright. Yeah, Colours writing does feel like it could be one of the TV show kind of stories. It's got that sort of cartoony vibe to it.
Yeah, I could see that. Has this ever been adapted in like any of the comics?
I think it had an Archie adaptation at one point, though I never followed Archie closely, so I'm not entirely sure. So I think the one that, like, out of the games, the one that most resembles the cartoon writing is probably Sonic Boom Fire and Ice, because that literally could have just been an episode of Boom.
Yeah, alright.
In both story and runtime. Because that's also a very short game. I think that took me like an hour and a half to beat when we did it in the Sega-thon.
Well, we're happy that you're enjoying it, Cassidy. We're very happy to be back on, like, doing more of these marathons. They're always a great time for us, even if they are a bit stressful at times with, you know, stuff that's going on and all the work that entails. But you know what? We raise money for a good cause. We make some good videos. Everyone has fun. It's just a great time. Yeah, there's the funny start. You start really slow on the rail before you hit the booster, and I don't know why that's different from the original.
I don't know, with how the load screens work differently, it might have just, you know, loaded it in a different pace in the background or something, you know. Yeah, I think Colour's story gets judged more harshly in hindsight because it sort of set the precedent for the next few games. Like I said earlier, I think that Colours on its own is fine, it's okay having a lighter-hearted entry. But Sonic can do more than this, and I feel like this being the template for Sonic stories for so long really held it back.
I have really not been doing well with those moving platforms today.
I feel like Hero's story being how it was more of a detriment than Colours being how it is, because Heroes, while being a more light-hearted story for the most part, it was absolutely not the right time to handle bringing Shadow back in my eyes. Because, like, you know, that's the sort of thing that needs to be explained. It needs to actually have some substance to it, but Heroes just didn't allow for that because of its story structure.
He's just kind of there.
Yeah. I think in general, Shadow the Hedgehog would have just been a better opportunity to bring him back.
I'm just gonna skip the end of this level because, well, fuck the end of this level. It's actually kind of annoying.
I do this every time, yeah.
He's always trying to take a break whenever something happens to him. That other guy, Sonic, just really, you know, whenever he just wants to chill out, the world's just like, hey, do something.
And there's the generator. It seems like these guys are getting harder and harder to find.
All you got to remember about Shadow's story is that it is just the original SA2 Shadow. That's the thing that's confusing to some people, but it just is him.
Oh, here's the line.
Oh yeah.
Coming up here in a second.
All unauthorized photography, video reproduction, or shutting down of generators is strictly prohibited. Thank you.
Eggman, I am going to save this planet, and I am going to free these aliens. No copyright law in the universe is going to stop me.
He said the thing.
He sure did.
Yep. Honestly, I like that line. It's just kind of over-memed.
Same.
Alright, I need to focus because there's a quick kill I can do here, and if I get it wrong, this boss fight sucks.
Okay.
And I did practice this one a few times. Let's see if I can get it. Nope, because Spikes decided it was going to put me in the wrong spot, so now I'm just kind of stuck here.
Yep, now you gotta do it the long way.
I really hate Spike Wisp sometimes. That was still an S rank somehow. I don't particularly agree with that one, but you know what? Whatever. At least I didn't take damage.
Yeah, just game, please judge me more harshly.
Wow, sometimes I even impress myself. For a second there, I wasn't sure I was going to pull it off. Well, who am I kidding? We both knew how this would end.
Are you talking to the broken robot who can't hear you?
Maybe. That's between me and the robot. See, the important thing here is the alien planet is free.
Absolutely.
So, we can just forget about the whole talking to dead robots thing, right?
Nope.
I knew you'd say that.
Oh, come on. I've seen you save the day a lot.
I like this cutscene too. Honestly, a lot of this writing I do like. It's just, again, the fact that it set off like the other games that had this style with kind of not as good writing to go along with it is really what hurts this game.
I feel like the other problem is that this is pretty consistent with this tone. So, like, you know, the whole setting in, like, the theme park and that is a little bit more out there, a little bit more wacky and that. And so, Sonic stopping and cracking jokes and stuff, it doesn't really ruin anything. Whereas you get to, say, Lost World, where it's just really tonally inconsistent, to the point where it almost feels like they were writing two different stories, or like writing two different characters that they're all just sort of mashing together. Or you get Forces, which had a general story structure that should have been taken a lot more seriously than it was, and played in earnest a lot more than it was. We're doing the Colours Ultimate mix soundtrack, so that you get, I think it's acts 1 to 3 are most of the new ones, and it just mixes in some of the older ones to the other acts. Okay, the It's been generations since I've seen you lying is funny, that did make me laugh. And I know that is a bit of a soy face, I recognise that thing sort of moment, but like, that one's inoffensive, it's just, you know, it probably shouldn't have been like that. I think like some of the moments of Sonic taunting Infinite and things like that just didn't really work for me.
I think Infinite just kind of really doesn't work.
See, I know why they handled Infinite how they did, because of how much shit they got for Shadow. Like, they played Shadow straight and people were still ripping it apart to this day. But I also feel like you can do a character like Infinite in earnest. And in fairness, I feel like a lot of the decisions that were made, like in reference to Contact and Graph's tenure in Sonic, were kind of a response to some of the more, I guess, bullshit criticism that Sonic got through the mid-2000s. Because I feel there's a certain subset of critics who just really hate the idea of seeing a game with these furry characters doing something that isn't haha or epic memes.
Yeah, okay. Kind of how, like, a lot of the stuff seems to be going nowadays. Like, as good as the Sonic movies are, they are doing a lot of the haha epic meme stuff in terms of that. And I like, as good as the movies are, I feel like they outweigh that. And I guess they're also trying to market it to kids as well, so there's that part.
I think the thing with the films is that they're very much trying to blend in with the other kind of family films, you know, because they've got to design it in a way that there's going to be parents who take their kids to see it. And if you don't have accessible humour in that sort of context, then the parents who are with the kids are going to be bored out of their fucking mind, because they're not going to get like the Sonic story, they're not going to get the in-jokes and the little nods to Sonic as a series. So I can kind of see why they took the films in that direction. But in terms of the games, I feel like, yeah, Sonic absolutely is capable of far more than just cartoon character writing.
See if we can take the upper path here and not have to deal with the annoyingness of the lower path. Okay, apparently we're not, because I missed the cube wisp that was there.
Yeah, okay. Oh well.
We're just gonna slide right under the coal ring instead.
Infinite just could have done with more character in general, there in a way. Like, I feel like the fact that he is just, I am not weak, and that's like his one character motivation that they never really tie into anything else that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then the fact that his character arc just sort of ends. A lot of shit these days is steeped in memes and irony. I agree that is a problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
I feel like there's a lot of insecurity in writing nowadays, in the fact that people don't really want to commit to something that maybe could be construed as like cheesy or cringe or whatever. And when something does, it tends to get backlash for doing so. And like, Spa, this is something that you've probably heard quite a lot of. There's a lot of criticism for things like Kingdom Hearts, in the fact that on a surface level, yes, it is bizarre that you've got these Disney characters playing through these incredibly serious plots. But I know for a lot of the people who like Kingdom Hearts, that's one of the things that they like about it.
You know, whenever they're actually relevant.
Yeah, well, just in the fact that like the game doesn't explicitly go out of its way to like wink at the camera and go, "Look how wacky this is, guys." I feel like something like that would really take you out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's what a lot of people seem to want.
Or a lot of people seem to think Kingdom Hearts is like that in a lot of cases, where it is that super self-referential kind of thing. And there's plenty of references to Disney stuff in Kingdom Hearts, but they're not doing it for like, hey, look how weird this is kind of thing.
And like, I've noticed this a lot in Western writing, more so than Eastern writing as well, because the other place where this comes up a lot is if you look at visual novels, a good way of comparing that, because you'll notice that Japanese written visual novels tend to play things straight, they tend to be there as a medium to tell a story. But any time that there's a Western one that blows up, it's a meme one. It's based on some bizarre, wacky concept. Like, it's, you know, look, there's these dads who are dating, or, you know, there's, like, the fucking, it's got a big plot twist where it's actually really grimdark.
Yeah.
And, like, although that might seem like a weird thing to reach out to, that is pretty much just the surface level distinction between, you know, earnest writing and insecure writing, I would say. Like, Japan's had quirky stuff before, but I feel like a lot of the time it owns being a quirky thing. And, like, you know, it just plays that. I feel like it's hard to explain, but there's a different approach to writing that.
I forgot there was more enemies there.
Okay, sure.
I don't have enough boost for all these things, so just homing attack. Yeah, they didn't fix the camera here. This is like sort of pseudo 2D section, and Laser wants to go in 3D, so it does this, and it's really weird and not great to look at.
Yeah. I think there's a place for realistic games that are going for more of a gritty look. I'm much more accepting of them these days because they're not like the only thing being pushed out now. I saw that curve just fuck you over.
Yeah, it's because I didn't touch the control stick, so I didn't have any momentum left over.
So the thing is, I would say that maybe during the early 2010s, like I was getting a bit sick of like looking at every upcoming game and it was like a military shooter. Because, like, there's nothing wrong with those games existing, it was just kind of overkilled a little bit at that period in time. Like, nowadays, when you get one pop up, there's no real issue with it, because, like, it's doing its thing.
This level has not gone well, but you know what? Whatever.
It's fine.
I am probably not going to get a chance to use this, Laser Wisp. Yeah, because I think the mini-boss thing is coming up. So I had a weird thing happen in this boss once, as things do usually happen to me in such a way. There was a point where the boss tried to hit me with its fist at the same time that I hit one of the bumpers at the end of the section, and so I was kind of caught in between like the rail that's on the top and the rail that's on the bottom, and so I was just falling through the air instead. And eventually the game, Sonic hit a death plane, so he just ended up dying. So yeah, weird stuff. You know, it's me.
I think this particular boss does have a bit of, like, weird... I don't, like, it's kind of got a weird thing going on, because I remember for the longest time, it may well have been fixed by now, but for the Dolphin patch that people made to play it in 60 FPS, it would completely break that boss. That was like the one that wasn't supported, and they just flat out said, like, turn it off for this level.
Okay.
I guess it, like, that was quite a while ago, so there may well have been, like, a newer version that fixes that, but You know, like, it's one of those things that maybe was tied in close to frame rate, and if there's like a drop in frame rate for games like that, sometimes that can make fucky things happen.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's nowhere near as many like grimdark, gritty games these days as there used to be. And as Adrian says, like, the fact that a lot of independent games that just do their own thing are becoming more prominent, it helps bring variety to like newer systems. Hey there, Muttley, welcome to the stream, mate.
Yo, how's it going? I hate this act so much. It's not great. Because it really is just kind of 90% this.
Yeah. It's little moments like this where it's just sort of the level gimmick defines the level solely, and that's all you're doing, and that level gimmick is very slow. That's the problem I have with the colours level design.
That's right. This level is also worse in Ultimate because those little pot shots that the enemy sends out are not lined up properly, so you have to actually dodge them.
Yeah, because what's meant to happen here in the Wii version is it's meant to be like just a handful in a row, and you just sort of either lined up left, middle, or right. But as far said, like, they're just sort of all over the place here.
Yeah, they're just a little bit offset, so you can't just stand in one spot to avoid them. It's really, really fucking obnoxious. And speaking of really fucking obnoxious, Aquarium Park X6. One of the longest levels in the game, which is fine, except it's also mostly underwater, which I don't think is fine. Not particularly a fan of the underwater controls in this game, unless you have a Frenzy Wisp.
Yeah, I will say though, the water here is, in my eyes, I prefer this to the classics. Because, like, you can still just jump infinitely and not get lodged behind something, or, you know, like, it's not going to slow you down too much.
Well, I dashed directly into Spike Ball there, but you know what? It's fine. Alright, I jumped, but sure, I guess. I've heard from people in the past that they don't understand what these fish do. They basically act like the bubble shield. That's pretty much what they are. Why did the camera zoom out like that? That's so weird, I've never noticed that.
I think that's to draw attention to the Jade Wisp that's over on the left in that section.
Oh,
'Cause that's
okay.
new.
Yeah.
So they probably wanted you to notice that, and I think they've moved some of the red rings. It might be one that ties into that.
Yeah, okay, so I didn't know which way to hold the control stick there, so...
You're really
Sorry,
not having
just-
much luck with those sections, are you?
Nope. Oh, almost fell there because I jumped a bit too early. I mean, that's fine. I got where I needed to go.
You didn't die, that's important.
Yep.
Hey, we have another bit of 3D. I think the counts are, what, 2?
Yeah, for real.
No, like, there's the opening of Tropical Resort. We had the part in Starlight Carnival. Like, I'm not going to count the parts that are just running forward, because that's like you're not actually playing the game in 3D. But like, you had that one part where you're ascending, also with hover, and then you had this.
And then we're right back into 2D.
I hope you enjoyed it while it lasted.
Yeah, for real. Nice. Thanks, Hover. You Hover killed me by going backwards.
I haven't seen it do that before. It's usually pretty good at, like, keeping you going forward.
Yep. Sometimes the light speed hover dash thing can do that, basically, and I was not prepared for it.
I am so glad I saw that Kappa in your comment there, that other guy. Man, why did Sonic even bother with 3D when he does it's cringe? You No, if you're looking for maybe a career change, if you just delete the Kappa face from that comment, you could apply to be a games journalist.
Hate this room.
Yeah, there's a lot of jumping around and hoping for the best.
And they made the camera so much worse in this version, I feel like.
Yeah, I don't remember it like flinging around as much as it is for you here.
I mean, that's also probably because I'm trying to get back to the front of the room. And so that's why it's doing that, but even then, I feel like it shouldn't be doing that.
I wouldn't worry that other guys. A lot of YouTubers I see aren't very good at editing either.
See if I can get to the end of this stage without getting blocked by the air vents or whatever. I think it's right there. Yep. No, please don't hit me. There we go. Nice. All right.
I think that big enemy there just sort of popped in.
I'm a little bit mad. What the heck was that? Did you just see that stomp effect?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Alright then, we're just gonna move right on from that one.
See, there's little things like that. It's not enough that you would like maybe dislike the game over, but little things like that do add up. It just makes it feel like a much less polished experience on the whole, you know?
I mean, it makes it more fun for me because I get to laugh at it and everything, but like, yeah.
But that is one thing that I was curious about with how this game came out, because a lot of these problems are entirely new things that have came in from this port, which is a source code port. It's not emulation, and it kind of makes me wonder why they didn't just emulate it.
Yeah, because at least the cutscenes would have looked better that way too.
The cutscenes will look better, and just, you know, like, it's a game that didn't really need any of the new things they added. Like, a lot of the new things they added here are more of a detraction than anything.
Yeah. I think some of the new stuff is fine, like the customization or whatever is pretty cool. From what I understand, the rival races are pretty neat, even if they are just kind of going through the same level again.
Yeah, like, it's the sort of things that if they weren't there, nobody would have complained. Nobody would have even thought about, hey, we could have done this. And I know this is a cynical way of looking at it, but I feel like the customization was just a waste so that they could tack another couple on for pre-order bonuses.
Yeah, I can see that. Alright, let's see if we can do this. Because if you do not hit the boss right away, he actually goes faster than the drill Wisp can catch up to.
Yeah, I did notice that when I recorded stuff for the LP, Adrian. The Wii version of Unleashed doesn't have the, like, cinema screen bars on it, so you do see more of the picture than you do in the HD version.
That's interesting. Those missiles just kind of pushed each other out of the way.
Yep, I feel like one of them just like one of the things that was chasing you phased into the other thing.
Yeah.
Didn't have like a proper explosion animation or anything.
Nice. Alright, got the quick kill on this boss, in big quotation marks, because this boss is really slow no matter what.
I think Blind Squirrel maybe weren't fit for developing this. Like, I may be confusing them with someone else, but I feel like I remember reading that a lot of their other projects were much lower scale. But at the same time, there were problems going behind the scenes, and it's Sega who's selling the game, So I feel like the responsibility falls on them to like maybe be more flexible with the deadline so they can actually fix the fucking thing.
I aim to please.
I don't understand really why it was outsourced. Why they couldn't do it themselves.
What's the verdict?
Probably because the outsourced company wanted lower wages than their own employees.
Oh, I guess so. Also, I mean, they were working on like probably Origins and Frontiers at the time. So
Yeah, they would have allocated their team mostly to Frontiers. Although, like, at the same time, there were periods of time during the quote-unquote Dark Age where you had Sonic Team staff working on the spin-offs alongside other Sonic Team staff working on the main games.
I would say we probably got around 30 to 40 minutes left of this game.
Probably, yeah.
If you want to let I think Tanner is on for the race.
It's gonna be a solo run of Generations, as they Tanner's had to drop out because he's got some family commitments come up.
Oh, okay. Okay, I wasn't aware that that was being changed as well.
No, I didn't think to bring that up, but yeah, it's gonna be a solo run, but I like Generations, so should be a comfy run.
Yeah, that'll be nice. So, Frenzy is really cool and about 300% more unwieldy in this version because of not having the notches on the control stick.
Oh yeah.
So I've got to fight very hard to kind of try to keep, like, the thing going in a straight line.
But in fairness, that's part of the fun of Frenzy. He just does what the fuck ever.
Fair. Yep, fair point. Should not be looking at chat while the coaster is hurtling towards Sonic's Doom.
Yeah. Might be an idea.
Hell was that camera?
Do you not want a top-down shot of the roller coaster that you meant to be jumping off of?
As you're jumping off of it?
Yeah.
Alright. I should really not be using up my boost here. Not that I'm going to have a lot of opportunities to use boost, I guess. I think I used that a bit too early. Yep, I sure did. Oh well. That's fine.
What I'm going to do is I'm just going to mute for a little bit and have something to eat quick, given I'm on straight after this, so...
Yep, that's fine. So, since I'm here by myself, if you guys want to ask me some questions, I will answer them as best as I possibly can in between, you know, playing the game, since I do have to sort of actually pay attention to that a little bit. Are you gonna morb? No, not today. 2 plus 3 is 23. No, I haven't read any of the Sonic comics. I probably wouldn't be against getting into them at some point. Meaning of life is 42. Oh, this is really subdued compared to the original music for Asteroid Coaster. I don't like it. Gotta pay attention to this section here, because there's a lot of stuff that can kill me. Would you get another cat? I would actually love to get another cat. You know this, Nat, but I guess that's why you're asking. Yeah, I actually really like the original Asteroid Coaster music. I kind of miss it. I mean, I've said many times that I prefer the original to the remix soundtrack, so... But, I mean, you guys voted for this in the polls, so this is what we doing. I mean, it's not bad. It's just kind of... I think it's mostly a thing of... the original music is what I remember. It's what I know from playing this so many times. It's not so much that I really hate these versions. I think some of them are probably not good matches for the levels. Like Planet Wisp 1, and this one's a bit too subdued. So yeah. Nat and I actually first met, depending on how you want to describe a first meeting, she has been a viewer of my streams for a very long time. Even like for several years before we started like dating, started being in a relationship. It wasn't until a group of friends that we shared started playing Final Fantasy XIV that we really started hanging out together, and eventually we decided that we, I actually basically asked Nat to hang out in I think it was Skype call one day. I think it was maybe that long ago, with another friend of ours, just so we had like a third party to make it a bit more comfortable, because we hadn't really hung out with just the two of us that much before. And so I did that, and basically while our third friend was like away doing something else, I told Nat that I liked her. And we ended up starting a relationship, and a few years back, while she was here visiting, I asked her to marry me, and so we're now engaged, and fuck knows when we're gonna have the wedding, because she still lives in the UK, and I'm here in the US. Hey Gamebusters UK, welcome to the stream. Apologies if I do miss those questions, since I can't really like mess with the chat to be able to scroll up. Again, I am focusing on playing the game. I think if we got to the wedding and I said the wrong name at the altar, I would be a dead man before like the words actually got out of my mouth, if I'm completely honest. I'm really glad I was able to grab that in time. The title should have been updated, because I made sure I updated that. Title and game being played should be updated now. Yeah. Would I say that I'm going plus ultra in this run? No, this is a pretty standard run for me. I'm using like the same paths that I usually do for the most part. Where's the button at? There's the button. Okay. Nice.
What is this place? Whoa. This is where he converts them into the strange, negative...
I like terminal velocity because I do like the quick step sections. I think they're fine. You actually kind of have to be paying attention as well
Did you find
to, like, not get hit.
interesting? Look at all of them. He's captured thousands of aliens.
Don't worry. We'll get him out.
Sonic, I haven't seen Yacker for a while.
You'll have to excuse me, buddy. I have
If you're just talking about the main, like, 6 worlds, I think there's 4 or 5 cutscenes that aren't directly next to the generators, because there's at least 2 in Tropical Resort, maybe even 3, because that one doesn't even have a generator. And then this world and Planet Wisp have the mid cutscenes as well. That cutscene, by the way, is actually part of the reason why I lost a Sonic Colors race with Tom several years back, because we were letting the cutscenes play, and I had forgotten about that, and so I skipped the cutscene. And so, as a handicap for doing that on accident, I basically sat still for like 5 minutes. And so Tom ended up catching up because he was behind at the time. And he actually ended up winning because of that. One more? Yeah, one more. We need to take out that enemy too. Now, yep, there's the gold ring. Oh yeah, out of the 5 planets that aren't like Tropical Resort, there's only this one and Planet Wisp that aren't like next to the generator. You are right about that. Shame Generations just kind of didn't have a story. It's a fun game. Like, it's probably some of the best boost gameplay in my opinion. But boy, they didn't do a lot of favors with the story in that game. Also, the final boss kind of sucks. It did feel a bit rushed, yeah, in terms of like level choice, the length of the game, the story, stuff like that, which is really sad because it really could have ended up being a great game, and instead it's just kind of good. I feel like at the time Generations came out, they didn't really need to win back fans. Not like they do right now. So that's kind of a weird feeling to have, Xehanorto. Oh, alright. I got sniped by one of those little bullets. Interesting. Yeah, sometimes the homing attack just kind of activates when it's not really supposed to, or in certain ways that the game doesn't really manage very well, like what happened right there. By the way, you can use Frenzy underwater. You just have to be actually standing on the floor for it to work. Otherwise, it just kind of disappears. Well, that's what I get for just kind of running through this section normally, I guess.
Alright, I'm back on the Lucasade, I think.
Alright, welcome back.
And I'm back to one of my favourite frenzy sections, just because like the invisible wall there means that you can just go completely ham with frenzy without having to worry about anything.
Yeah, which is actually a lot easier to do in this version, because the controls are so weird.
Oh, it's this thing that fucked over so many of my attempts at getting a no-hit run at this level.
Yeah, like that.
That happens a lot.
Uh-huh.
Especially on the third phase when it's going really fucking fast.
Especially when the homing attack decides it doesn't want to activate.
Yeah, that too.
Or things like that happen, where the homing attack just kind of stops.
Yeah, it's just like, just stuck in between the laser and the thing you meant to hit.
Yep, that's just a weird thing. I was just talking about that a second ago before you got back. There's just weird times where the homing attack will, like, just stop in place, and sometimes you'll even end up just kind of floating for a second, especially if you're against a wall or something. Usually if, like, your target moves, or, I've had it happen on the boss in, Planet Wisp, where I go to homing attack the boss and it goes invulnerable while the homing attack is happening, and so I just kind of fly right past it into the wall.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like what you're doing to my friends in there. It's messed up. So I'm gonna mess you up. Yeah, that's right. I'm stretching. You got a problem with that? I want to be able to fully enjoy taking you apart without some pulled muscle slowing me down. Okay, now I'm ready. Of course.
I'm gonna be honest, I kind of agree with that, Adrian. A lot of the problems I have with Generations do come from the last third of the game, because, Rooftop Run aside,
You guys don't talk
basically everything from the start of the modern era onward kind of sucks.
See, I like Crisis City and Rooftop Run in Generations, but Planet Wisp is a bit shit in that game, and Time Eater is also a bit shit.
Yeah, I don't particularly like the silver boss fight either.
It's okay. Like, the bosses in Generations on the whole aren't really that interesting though.
Rooftop Run in Generations, I feel, is kind of carried by its music a little bit. Like, the level itself is just kind of fine.
I feel like the comparisons to the Unleashed version don't help, given the Generations one is so much shorter.
Yeah.
Like, the level design that's there is okay, it maybe misses a bit of the spectacle, but other than that I'm fine with it.
Fuck these 2D sections on this boss. I'm just gonna use Rocket. Can't see a damn thing. It did not give me another Rocket Wisp. Alright, good. Gave me a Rocket Wisp this time, so the rest of the boss should be easy. The less I have to actually, like, dodge stuff in these 2D sections, the better. Because trying to dodge the little bullets that the cannons fire are actually super annoying.
Oh yeah.
Yep, okay, there we go. Took him a second to decide if he wanted to die or not. Not an S rank. Very surprising. I think it was because of the pieces of the robot that I was hitting, because I got the searchlights instead of the little engine thruster things on the side.
Thanks. Hey, we both deserve some kind of reward.
So are you all set up for Generations next?
All right. But
Oh, I'll need to have a quick break between the games, but yeah, I can get it set up.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, because we are just about to head into terminal velocity right here.
The aliens getting free?
looks like it. Once the power went off, the locks vanished. I hope Yakker's okay.
I think you'll be fine. You don't think the weapon you were shot with still works?
Not without power flowing to it.
I noticed this a while ago, and I think it was probably the last time I replayed this. What's about to happen here, as pretty much everyone already knows, is the whole theme park is about to start basically going nuclear. And Sonic and Tails try to run for the exit. And the next thing we see is Sonic running down the big path that connects it back to the world below. They took an elevator to get back up, though. And it's only at the end of Terminal Velocity Act 1 that we find an elevator,
I mean, really?
which Sonic then pushes Tails into and then fights the boss. Did they have to run up from the elevator to get to Tropical Resort the first time?
With all the generators destroyed.
Ah, good point.
It's just, I guess,
You fighting off any insane
I don't know, maybe part of the elevator system isn't working because everything's breaking down. I guess that sort of makes sense.
Figure out exactly what we needed to do so we weren't running around the park looking like idiots. Oh no.
Hey, Crazy Harlequin, this has been a pretty decent run so far. I've died a lot, but I've also done some pretty neat things that I wanted to show off, so whatever.
You kept it moving, so it's fine.
Yep. I don't think I ever died more than like 2 or 3 times on a single fight.
I think we're in
Or a single level, rather.
The medal? We are the party. I think we're their guests of honor.
Totally.
Yeah, going back to the Generations thing, and I mean, we're talking a lot about Generations, considering we're not playing that and are about to be playing it in a moment. But I feel like Planet Wisp is not a good choice for the last main level, but they all also were done in like chronological order. So in that case, it makes sense. It just sucks that it's such a bad level to end off Generations with.
I feel like Asteroid Coaster would probably have been a better pick, honestly.
Planet Wisp was a good choice, they just didn't adapt it well. They didn't do a good level for Planet Wisp because it's really almost entirely the machinery section and very little of the actual planet.
Yeah.
You talking to me? Yes, I'm talking to you. There's nobody else here, so I must be talking to you. Why haven't we fixed your voice chip yet? Yo, quit wasting my batteries over here. I've been working on it all day. What does that even mean? Oh, never mind.
It is kind of the most relevant to the plot being the Wisp's homeworld, and it is kind of also the, really colorful foresty area with all of Eggman's machinery mixed in. The problem is we just kind of didn't really see a lot of that stuff matter.
Yeah.
We only get 2 Wisps, one for Modern and one for Classic, and they're not, great anyway. And then, like I said, the level is mostly the machinery stuff. You're not seeing a whole lot of the actual planet itself, so, whatever.
Yeah, that is a point. We do have a bid war that we added today ongoing, which will be for the Sonic Forces run, and that will be which species Tom's avatar will be, so the OC. And that is between Hedgehog, Cat, Bear, Rabbit and Wolf. Cat's currently winning with $10, but we've got a whole game yet, so that could change.
And also keep in mind that at the end of the Generations run, we're going to be giving away a copy of the game on Steam, as well as we also have that Sonic Origins raffle going on throughout the whole marathon. So if you want to be entered in either of those, feel free to donate.
Yep, if for the Sonic Origins raffle it's $5 per entry, so just let us know that you want to be entered when you leave your donation comment, and I can add you to the list.
The sweet sound my auditory processors know and love.
I always assumed, or at least thought the game was trying to imply, that the sort of purple mist that was, you know, being let out by the reactor going off was the Time Eater, or something like that. I don't know if that's what they meant to try to imply, but it sort of has the same purple misty covering it kind of thing. Maybe I'm just kind of looking too deep into a Sonic game.
Giving them a bit too much credit.
Hey, Tails?
Yeah?
I got a bad feeling about this.
Good, so it's not just me.
When I feel the ground shaking under my feet and see plumes of dust rising and rubble tumbling and aliens running for their lives, yeah, I get a bad feeling. So, how about you and me make like Eggman's hairline and recede?
That one line that Sonic just did is probably the most egregious, like, joking thing in the whole game, and it's one of the few ones that I really just absolutely dislike from the start. Because they're just kind of standing there while everything's falling around them, and he's just, you know, cracking jokes when he really shouldn't be.
Yeah.
How do we feel about terminal velocity?
This is okay. The boss is pretty good. It's a shame that they just reused that same boss like 3 more times, but
Yeah.
I think that's okay. And the final sequence is just whatever. Like the ending we'll see shortly, and I'll give them full send, but for the level, it's like, this is whatever.
Yeah, it's fine. I like the quick step sections. I think they're fine. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. I forgot to jump over the thing. I like trying to, what's the word I'm looking for? Sort of optimize the boost in this section right here and the one following, so that you actually have enough to just boost straight to the end and not worry about the big robot that's coming. You actually fight this thing, well, fight, I guess being sort of the wrong word. You're supposed to jump over his attacks in this one, which you cannot do to the one that shows up in Aquarium Park.
Yeah.
And now that we've broken through that barrier, I think I can just boost from here. Maybe it's the second wall that he breaks through that we do that. Actually, I think I might be good as long as I get good moto bugs to give me more boost. Yep, there we go. Boosted straight to the end. Who needs to actually outrun the thing when you can outrun the thing?
Actually, that's a good question. Has anyone in HFC played Persona 5?
No, I've never heard of it. What's it about? Yes,
We're gonna just let the credits play in full while Spar talks about Persona 5.
Oh, please God, no. Persona 5 Royal is my second favorite game of all time, so...
Fair.
I could talk about it for a very long time, and I'm not going to, because that's not what this marathon is about.
Fair play. We just got a $20 donation from Anonymous. Thank you very much.
You're going to destroy us and stop embarrassing yourself.
Curse you, Sonic! Not only do you foil my plans, but you foil my speeches as well! I work hard on them! No matter, I will destroy you, and I will be victorious! Is that better?
Like a million times better. Thank you.
This robot is special!
Demos says, coincidentally, despite it being my second favorite game, I've never actually played it, referring to me, of course. I mean, I feel like people are that way about Persona a lot of the time, where they talk about how much they love it, but have never actually played it.
Huge Persona fan, excited to play it for the first time.
Yep, that's the meme. Bye, Tails. You weren't really relevant to this game anyway. Yeah, actually, in the pre-stream, my PS4 home screen did show, like, Persona 4, not Persona 4, Persona 5, Royal, and Strikers, and maybe even Dancing? I don't remember if that was on there or not. And on my main PS4 profile, I actually have, like, the backgrounds and avatars and stuff.
We just had a new donation of $20 from Sam Driving Blind. There's no comment there, but if you'd like to be entered into the Sonic Origins raffle, just let us know and I can add you in. But yeah, thank you very much for all the donations that have come in today, guys. Really do appreciate it.
What was with that bounce, huh? Why did he bounce so high in the air without giving me another homing attack?
Yeah, Persona 5 was a PS3 game.
And no, I have never played a real SMT game. I want to play 5 at some point, but, you know.
So I played the realist of real SMT games. I played Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
I played most of that. I didn't actually finish it.
I liked it quite a lot, actually. It's just the progression system for, I forget what it's called, like the stage ranks, gets a little bit fiddly because you end up having to use all the characters in battle specifically to, like, get their rank up, and some of them are just not opportune for that.
Yeah, the combat is one mechanic that you really have to focus on. That's really about it.
Yeah, so the thing is that I get why people don't like it, and, you know, it is very casual compared to pretty much every other SMT series. And these sessions do make it a little bit mindless at times, because, like, you just hit an enemy's weakness and then all your other characters just chime in and pile on them.
Yeah.
But, like, I think it's just the setting and the narrative that I enjoyed more than anything. Like, I like the whole, like, idle theming of the game and whatnot. I thought that was really cool.
I love this ending so much.
Final Color Blaster.
Final Color Blaster is so cool. Way better than Supersonic.
Taste the rainbow, motherfucker.
Did we get an S rank for the final boss? Nope. Because I took that one hit during the cube section. Oh well.
My head! Who turned out the lights?
Alright, we'll be finishing this up here shortly, folks, because I'm not letting the credits play. The colors, it has been played. I'm not letting the credits play, though. Because, as we did mention a couple times, they are like 30 goddamn minutes long. And we've got stuff to do, and I want to eat lunch sometime today. This cutscene does still look good. The pre-rendered stuff does look really nice. Still, at least.
all the ending story elements in this game are fantastic in my eyes.
I don't know what that was.
Oh.
I think that was in the game.
Yeah? Yeah, you're right, it's way shorter than Mighty Number 9's credits. That was something special. 4 fucking hours.
I don't really know why we just had lag during a pre-rendered scene, and fuck. It's okay.
Well done, Far.
I'm emulating Tom from that one stream he did. I'm just gonna run in a straight line and jump instead of trying to quick step around the things. You know what would have been great? If there was just a random big cameo. Big just being pulled into the black hole. Like, just for no reason, they just threw him into the game for that. Man, again, these cutscenes look so good.
Really do, yeah. I love Super Mario Galaxy, basically.
Shout out to the burst Wisp. You could see it there at the start of that little shot there.
Sonic, are you okay? Man, I can't believe you made it through that.
Like you thought I wouldn't?
The only thing I was thinking about was getting pushed into an elevator.
Well,
This is where he becomes the werehog and meets Chip.
Great job, Sonic.
I've never noticed that you can see the reflection of his glove in his eyes. That's kind of weird now.
Oh yeah, the Martha animations do have a lot of little touches like that, which I appreciate greatly.
I think skipping the credits also might skip the Eggman cutscene, but if it plays, then I'll let that play and then we'll sign off. But I am skipping the credits, as I said, because fuck.
you for saving us.
He says, you are welcome.
That thing's translating pretty good.
Yep, I finally got all the kinks out. We can talk to them perfectly now.
I can't believe all the Wisps are dead. Oh well.
Bye, my friends, I have to go. Just when I got this thing working.
Better late than never, buddy. Right on.
Faster, you idiot! Faster! Put your backsides into it! Technically, we don't have backsides, boss. I don't care! Just push! We have to hurry!
I've said this a bunch, but I hope you all enjoyed this. I apologize for being kind of tired. Didn't get a lot of sleep because of stuff that happened. But, you know what? It's been a fun time anyway, and I'll be back for HFC probably later today for Forces, I think. And then, you know, if you want to see me play more games, be sure to donate so we can hit that $3,000 milestone to unlock the next bonus day, and I'll be playing Sonic Colors DS. And I hope you guys have fun with the rest of the streams today, and I will talk to you all later.